You might have recall a news story from last year. There was some interest in the fire departments and the firefighters in California, and the interest was that there were too many white men who were firefighters, and we need to have a program in California to make sure we don't have enough white men as firefighters. So we have DEI, we have budget cuts, and yet I'm wondering now, if your house is burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters are?
You can respond, and then we'll...
Listen, I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women. So let me be clear.
Oh, God, here we go. Scott Jennings, the worst thing you can do is argue with a shaquisha. Well, we got Jasmine Crockett, shaquisha. For those of you that don't know who and what a shaquisha is, that is the definition right there, Jasmine Crockett. One of the worst things you can do is try to argue with a shaquisha. You can't, and they can't be wrong, and they don't take any responsibility. But we got Jasmine Crockett, as you guys all been following, with the Los Angeles wildfires that completely obliterated entire cities, people's homes, communities, businesses, devastation, failed policies. Here we are now with Jasmine Crockett absolutely losing it, flipping the hell out, and loses her mind after Scott Jennings, our homeboy Scott Jennings, on CNN panel calling out DEI, she completely loses it. Before I show you the clip, I just want y'all to understand, I don't know how Scott Jennings deals with this on a daily basis, because you cannot argue with a shaquisha. Play the clip.
You might have recall a news story from last year. There was some interest in the fire departments and the firefighters in California, and the interest was that there were too many white men who were firefighters, and we need to have a program in California to make sure we don't have enough white men as firefighters. So we have DEI, we have budget cuts, and yet I'm wondering now, if your house is burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters are?
You can respond, and then we'll...
Listen, I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women. So let me be clear. Because you are a woman, or because I know that some of the right has been sharing these photos of the fact that I believe that the fire chief may be a woman or something, that has nothing to do with it. We are looking at qualifications. What diversity, equity, and inclusion has always been about is saying, you know what? Open this up. Don't just look at the white men. Open it up and recognize that other people can be qualified. And the fact that we want to, at a time when people are dying, decide that a country of immigrants is failing, or people are dying because the same very people that built this country, because the last time I checked, y'all didn't say that anything was wrong with the White House, and I can promise you it was my ancestors that built the White House. So listen, if we have been good enough to build this country, we are good enough to serve and die overseas, we are good enough to serve in other ways. And the fact that people actually decide that they want to engage in public service, whether it's sitting in Congress or whether it's serving on the fire department or the police department, should not be an issue. The fact is, stop trying to act as if only white men are the ones that are capable. Because right now you're sitting at a table with 3 very capable black women.
I'm not.
That was one of the biggest idiotic word salads I have ever seen. Bringing up that black women are the most educated women in this country. Where did you get that stat? Where did you see that report, that data? Did you get that out of a coloring book? Because let me say something, man, and this is just my opinion. I'm just going to tell y'all how I feel and how it is. Education comes in many different forms. You got formal education, and you got self-education, and then you have street smarts. So where I'm going at is there's a bunch of different ways of education. So let's explore down this path of her saying that black women are the most educated women in this country. First and foremost, if that was the case, wouldn't black women be educated enough to know that they are the #1 least desirable women in this country, maybe even in the world?
If you look at the statistics of dating apps, and you're on dating apps, we're on dating apps, Instagram's a dating app, the men and women who are swiped the least on Tinder are Asian men and black women. And we have a lot of black women on this panel. I'm curious as to why you think that black women are the least desirable demographic for women. I think I understand why Asian men are. Maybe you could ask me afterwards, but I want your opinion on why you think that is. Why are black women the least swiped demographic for women on dating apps?
I will say that I don't believe that it has anything to do with racism, prejudice, or discrimination, any of that.
What do you think it is?
It is because the stereotypes about black women are born from a place that is true. We can, and I say we as a collective, like we can be aggressive, we can be assertive, we can be masculine, we can basically disregard the family unit. Like, and I'll summarize this, but Thomas Sowell writes about it that post-slavery and the Reconstruction era and in the Jim Crow era in the 50s, 60s, where it's like the most racist, the black nuclear family was still intact. Mother, father in the home with all the children. Post the 70s, second wave, third wave, radical feminism that told you have sex with whoever you want and then kill the child after, has given us a sense of like, well, my body's not important, my family's not important, having a man is not important. Our music tells us that. Like, country music's not telling anyone to divorce their husband. It's rap music that's telling us like, get rid of your man, you don't need him. So like,
Facts.
those stereotypes are born from a true place. It has nothing to do with racism. You know, no offense to anyone who brought it up, but like in the most racist time in America, the black family was intact. So it has nothing to do with that.
Why is that? Why is it? Is it because what she just displayed, an attitude of a Shaquisha? Because they're so educated and so strong and they have their own houses and their own cars and they can make their own money and take care of their own selves and they don't need a man? Is that why they are the most educated? Because let me explain something to you. Data shows that they are the #1 least desirable women on earth because of their attitude and combativeness. In my opinion, most black women, I'm not going to say all of them, because we do have the exceptions to the rule. We do have the anecdotal experiences. We do have, you know, those situations out there where not all black women act like this. Not all black women portray themselves to be that way. Some black women are extremely submissive and operate in the way that God created us to be able to act. God, the father, the husband, the wife, and then the wife is domain over the rest of the household and the children. There is black women that they follow that. I do believe that there is educated black women out there, like Candace Owens, for example, and Lisa Rice. I mean, we could go on and on with the black women that I'm referring to. But when it comes to folks like this that use nothing but word salads and say that they are the most educated, when I know that if you are the most educated, then why does data show that you're the #1 least desirable woman at least in this country, but I would even go as far as on earth, that 4 out of 5 are obese? Does that sound educated to you? That sounds like that there's something going on from a physical physique health standpoint. When 4 out of 5 black women are obese, that should tell you something. Nobody wants to be with a woman that is the size of a man. Now, not all black women are the size and weight of a man, but that doesn't sound very educated to me. Let's continue. Black folks in this country specifically are probably at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to education. Look at the schools, all black schools too. I don't want to hear them try to point the finger and deflect it off to white folks like they always do. This is what the wokesters do. These are the same people, these educated black women, that say weight loss programs are racist because it don't do the same thing for black women as it do for their counterparts.
You can't get access to good health care, good insurance. The research says that black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet, than our white women counterparts. And what public health practitioners think is that our stress responses in the body change our metabolism. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
White, Hispanic, brown, whatever color you can come up with. These are the same people that say math is racist.
Okay, quickly, so I misunderstand. Are we saying that 2 + 2, if you say it's 4, that's racist? I mean, that sounds like we may be mischaracterizing it. What, if you can quickly sum it up?
No, that's not mischaracterizing it at all. Math is basically racist under this ideology because it says there is no such thing as an objective reality. So 4 might not be the right number. 2 plus 2 might actually equal 5.
But yet they're the most educated. I'm sorry, I got to go in, man. I have to go in. Who else is going to go in and tell y'all the truth? And I'm saying this out of love. I'm saying this from the heart, out of love. We have to call it out so that you can get better. So if they're the most educated, then why are we the number one at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to education? Even their black messiah, Barack Obama, already told them what single-parent homes are like, that kids are 5 times more likely to living in poverty and committing a crime, 9 times more likely to dropping out of school, 20 times more likely to going to prison. And we don't even have to go into the stats of suicide and all the other promiscuity and diseases, so on and so forth.
It's doubled since we were children. We know the statistics that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime. They're 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in prison. They're more likely to have behavioral problems or run away from home or become teen parents because the father wasn't in the home.
If that's the most educated woman, because I believe education comes in several different forms, not just academics, but even academics is questionable, which is why I say, did she get those stats out of a coloring book? What article did they get that from? If they are the most educated, then why are they failing as single mothers? Because the man ain't in the house. They can blame it on the white man and blame it on this. They married the government. They chose to choose welfare. They chose to be combative and want to play the role of a man in a masculine role. Not all black women. And there's some of y'all other women out there of all other shades that operate and move your life that way. But they want to go off of this, I don't need a man, but they're the most educated. Well, guess what? Men don't want to be with another man. A man don't want to be with no woman that's operating like a man, operating in their masculine role. And I don't want to hear, well, we were forced to move that way. Again, I'm not saying all black women are that way. I'm talking about those shaquishas. I'm talking about these ones that are self-entitled and think that they're God's gift of bread on earth, that they're the queen hipshot of the United States of America. I'm talking about this country. Does that sound very educated to you? Because it doesn't sound educated to me. And it just kills me that they continue to bring up this DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We all know that it really stands for didn't earn it. Diversity means, you're going to diversify and spread things out and have a mixture of different people. Equity, where she failed to touch up on, is saying that we should have equal outcomes. Regardless of the work that you put in, we should have equal outcomes. Well, if they're the number one educated women on earth, then why is our children failing academically in school? Why are they failing as single parent moms? Why are they failing in relationships, being the least desirable woman in this country? And I would even go as far as in the world. Why are 4 out of 5 of them obese? Man, y'all don't want me to start cooking on here when it comes to these shaquishas. And look, I know people going to come on my page, the wokesters, black women, listen, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I got to speak the truth. And that is the truth. And until you can accept the truth, then we can get better. So I don't know what she's talking about when she says that they're the number one most educated. And it was nothing but a word salad in it anyway, because he brought up the fact that in LA, during the fire department, they wanted to defund and they went the DEI route. They wanted to not go off of merit, but go off of the color of someone's skin and put them in there. So her analysis of what DEI is, that's what the woke always say DEI is. But they skip the equity. And then the inclusion. Well, there's so many things I think the NBA needs to practice DEI and have more white folks playing basketball. All right, listen, man, I'm just being honest. I'm just want to tell y'all the truth. It's my opinion. You don't have to like it. I don't care. But I can't stand people like this. They get on my nerves. They irk me. Scott Jennings needs to continue to do what he's doing. And listen, he encountered a shaquisha. We all know her behavior. There's no decorum. She's in Congress calling people names. But the moment that somebody else do it back to her, all hell's going to break loose. Anyway, I'm not going to get long on this video. I kind of ran it on it. Y'all know how I do. It's mean tweet commentary. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. As I just told you, I only do mean tweet commentary. And for everybody else that's been supporting me all along, thank you so much. You elevated my voice. Keep hitting the like button. Keep commenting. I read them. I try to answer all of them. And keep supporting me, man. I appreciate you guys. And as always, it's your boy, Craig Long, 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.